tough in the sense you go on the break, played probably a better game than Anaheim, but just weren't able to come out with a win. Is that how you saw it? Or?
Yeah, I thought, I'll take that effort, that type of game all night long. I thought in the first period we came out with a really good fire. We jumped on them. I thought in the first period Hiller was the difference, and then lo and behold, they get a sort of a bounce off. Yossi reaches out for a puck, really, and they get a sort of an easy goal. And you have a real good first period. I think we had 13 scoring chances. I think we had 33 for the whole game. I thought we did a lot of great things. We had a big penalty kill when we needed it. Came back on them. Real big power play early in the third, get it tied up, and then they get a sort of a seeing eye puck through traffic that gets in. And then I thought the one that was a killer was the fourth one. I thought we played a real solid game. Most scoring chances we've created on any team in this year was against the number 1 team in the league. I thought we fired lots of pucks. Did a lot of things you want. We just, they got 2 goals. The second one went off Victor on the power play. He did everything right, and they throw it and it goes off his foot and goes, top shelf type of thing. First one we knocked in, and we had a good push right to the end. Obviously, there's a lot of good things that we did. I'd bottle that game most nights, and we end up with a win. So this team doesn't quit. We've had probably look at last little while. We've gotten points when we've been down 2 goals for a number of games. The St. Louis were down 2-0, come back, get a point. Down late in the game against New Jersey, get 2 points. Earlier in the year, down 3 goals to Montreal, come back, get a point. 2 goals against, or down 2 goals to Florida, get points. So this team's got we've been chipping away and getting points, and we're never giving up because we've been down in games, but just didn't have enough finish early, and Hiller was sort of had the answer for us early.
Does that almost make it more deflating in the sense that you got that effort, but 0 points, and especially with now 3 weeks? I mean, you think about this?
Well, I think it'll go away. I think guys are real disappointed because they put in maximum effort. Didn't have any passengers tonight. Everybody was all in, and thought we played I thought it was a terrific hockey game until we fell down. I think obviously 4-2, but. First 2 periods, it was a terrific hockey game. Their big guys stepped up and scored goals. I mean, Getzlaf and Perry are world-class forwards. They are big loads. That's a big line with Penner on it. I thought we handled them, fairly well. We had a couple of freakish goals. I guess when things are going well for you as a hockey team, they go really well. So they're a good hockey team. They found a way to win.
On the 4th goal, does Brian have to get rid of that puck?
Yeah. He's got to get rid of it. He's got to recognize that, and then we also, have to stop on that puck a little bit too. A couple of our forwards turned their back on the puck, and he didn't put it. He put it into an empty space where they just jumped on it, and that one goes off of, they send it into the slot, and I think Victor Bartley comes in there and gets their guy's stick. And, I don't know if that helped elevate it or not, but he was trying to chop the guy's stick to break up the play. So it was one of those nights where it was a little frustrating. They were getting sort of easy goals, and it wasn't Carter's fault. He couldn't do anything on those goals. I thought he played quite well, but they were sort of freakish goals. Is probably the way to describe it.
Stallberg, first game back after injury, he obviously had a goal, but where do you think this game overall?
I thought Victor, if he skates like that and is term like that, I thought he was a good factor tonight. I thought the Wilson line was pretty effective tonight for the most part. I thought we played a pretty good game overall. I mean, they didn't have a lot of shots for how high-powered offense that they do have. Our chances were pretty much in our favor, in our account. Just, the one thing I don't like is the scoring.
Coming out of the break, I guess 24 games, whatever you have left. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a race where I think I think Dallas won tonight. We were chasing Phoenix. Vancouver lost. So, we didn't really lose any ground. Maybe Dallas picked up some ground, and I think Winnipeg got a point. So, but we're all chasing, Phoenix. So, there's a number of teams. I think it's going to be an absolute battle, and I think it's gonna be fun hockey, it's gonna be playoff hockey. So I told our guys coming out of the break, we're playing playoff hockey. And if we can play playoff hockey right to the end, who knows? I do know one thing, and I say this to all the guys: if you don't have maximum effort, and you don't put in the time and the effort in the game, I know what the result will be. But if you put in the time and the effort and the commitment to it, I can't tell you how it's gonna play out, but I can tell you you're gonna give yourself the best chance to get it.
Son of Moser gets a point tonight, his first career point. He comes out of nowhere in the preseason, makes the Olympic roster for Switzerland. You know, what have you seen out of him so far? Are you impressed with what he's playing with?
Yeah, I think the thing with Simon, and that's what sort of, when I was over at the World Championships, a couple of people told me about Simon Moser, so I watched him. You know, obviously Yost was over there, and I've got some good friends who are pretty involved in the Swiss hockey. So they sort of said, you know, watch this guy, he might have a chance. You know, he's not the prettiest European player to watch sometimes, but he's got a little bit of a North American game to him. I watched him through the World Championships. I thought he was very smart. He's got a smart stick. He understands the game. He's got lots of detail. And we offered him a tryout. And coming out of training camp, for a better part, if we didn't have so many contracts, he might have started. He might have been sort of that Joel Ward type of guy who came out of nowhere and made the hockey team. But he was right there. We had to, because our numbers were where they were. We had to send him down, and he's made a commitment to try to play in the National Hockey League, which is really good. And now he's doing the Olympics, so he's a guy that I think is going to get better and better as we go along here. So I think he's got a chance to be a pretty solid NHL player.
In the last few minutes of the game, the last 10 minutes or so, you guys were kind of the victim of some non-calls. Is it tough to fight through those? Yeah,
well, that's where I think the frustration at the end came is there's some non-calls, and then there's a couple of things said on the ice, and you know, when guys are emotional, things happen. So yeah, it was a little bit frustrating, but they didn't call them penalties, so they're not penalties, so you just gotta let it go.
Barry, what's Pekka's situation going into the break?
Going into the break, well, he's going to do some rehab on his own, under some supervision, obviously, through the break. And then coming out of the break, we have a plan for him to ramp it up. I think his plan on some of the things that he's doing will just continue to strengthen those areas that have been weakened by the infection and the injury. And that's really the plan, but we'll have him ramped up pretty good when he gets back. There's a really good plan in place with the doctors, our trainers, and also Pekka.
Does that plan have a target date for when you would like that?
It doesn't. I wish it did, but it really doesn't. It's going to, you know, we had zero setback in terms of what we've been doing, and I think that's the approach that they'll take, is that they will continue just to move him on, and then to a point where, you know, he'll get ramped up pretty good, and then hopefully we won't have any kind of setbacks, and Pekka can get that down. But I do know this as a goaltender, the first thing that he has to get down, obviously, is just healing, and he's doing that and building up a foundation of strength and stability in that area, and then from there he'll also have to build a foundation for his game. You know, you just can't say, oh, he's in shape and now he's got to throw in the nets and he'll be fine. It doesn't work that way. It'll be all the similar things that Mitch has done with Carter and with Maz and with Dubnik, that he'll have to go through that process and get his foundation in his game so that the goalie part of him can come out. And so that's why there's really no target here.
Barry, what do you plan on doing for the next couple of weeks?
Well, number one is I have to, unfortunately, I had a death in the family. I'm going to go back to Winnipeg on Monday, and then Wednesday, I'll be there through Wednesday, and then I'm going to take my son, who's 13, and all y'all know he's special needs. I think he's old enough. We're going to take him to see Mickey Mouse and take our family. I think it'll be a special moment for our family, and get back on the weekend and back to work. So the plan there would be obviously making sure that we're doing all the right things so we have a plan set out for the time that, you know, the guys can come back. And we're just gonna try to incorporate some stuff and make sure that when we come back, we're ready to go. Obviously, we're all missing a couple of players, but I think we can get better during that time. It's not just gonna wait for the other guys to come back. I think we can get a little bit better, and if we get a little bit better, that might be the difference from us, taking the next step and coming out of the gates pretty good.
Will you pay close attention to what's going on in Sochi, or will you not let
Absolutely,
it go?
yeah, I pay attention. I'll be watching curling and bobsled, you name it. I love sport. I love the Olympics. I think it's a great venue, and I just hope there's no more incidents over there. That's the only thing. But I think so far my first impressions have been very favorable of the opening ceremonies. I thought it was absolutely terrific. They've done a good job. I think the hockey's going to be terrific. It's going to be, the great thing about, I think, this season is that you're going to see some great hockey during the Olympics, and the best players in the world. And then when we get back, you're going to see some of the best hockey, with teams battling for a playoff position, trying to get in. I think you're going to see some terrific hockey down the stretch. So, hopefully we come out of the break with a lot of belief and a lot of determination, and hopefully we get a little bit of a roll going. I think, coming into this, we've played pretty good hockey for a pretty good stretch here. So, I think a lot of things can be in place for us.